You're watching Let's Chat.
If you were looking for something really fun to do this weekend, let me suggest you include the Comedy Catch on your agenda. The reason? This incredibly funny lady, it is Kalea McNeill. Kalea, good to see you.
Good to see you.
I think I messed up the pronunciation of your name towards the beginning of the show and incorrectly said it's a leap year, so sorry.
Okay, so there's a lot going on right now.
Chip happens around here. That's
Okay.
all I can tell you. Well, actor, comedian, you got a lot of plates that you're spinning in the air all at once.
Yes.
I want to go back briefly to the beginning. What drew you to the field, and how did you actually get started, and what was that epiphany where you went, this is what I'm going to do?
Well, I always wanted to be a comedic actor. Growing up, I looked at people like Whoopi Goldberg,
Right.
Robin Williams, Martin Lawrence. Growing up in the early 90s, obviously they were stand-up comedians, but when I knew who they were actors. It was Sister Act, it was The Martin Show. And that was just kind of always my goal, my focus. I went to Clark Atlanta University, graduated with a degree in theater arts, and while I was in school, I did a lot of kind of like live hosting, emceeing, not realizing that I'm sharpening this tool that I now use every day on stages across the country.
And that tool is a gift. A lot of people think anybody can do that.
Well, no, because
you can't.
Public speak is the #1 fear.
Yeah.
People are very afraid to just speak, let alone speak about something that you wrote that you think is, you have the audacity to think this is so funny that I'm going to pay to come see you. Like, that takes a lot of audacity.
Describe your comedy for me.
I talk about myself, things I've been through, my life. I'm a Black Christian girl, you know, from California, who has my own thoughts and beliefs within that as well. And it just comes out on stage. I've lived an interesting life, and I just like to go for that. I'm not here to, I'm not the show where you can't sit in the front row because you're scared you're gonna get made fun of. Now, unless you bring something to my attention.
And then all bets are off.
Then all bets are off. But you can very much so sit in the front row just fine.
You've been right here on CBS on the great show SWAT. You have been on the prank panel on another network, several shows. Tell me a little bit about how it's different doing a show like that versus doing a live comedy set.
So the main difference is, at least when I'm acting, it's all written for me. All I have to do is make sure that I'm giving them what I feel is best based on what they've written on this piece of paper. With comedy, it's much more personal. So I take it differently. I'm not that I have a different care. My love for acting is undying. But, you know, when I'm doing a stand-up set, whether it's good or whether it's bad, it's all on me.
And you have to constantly edit that set and those thoughts between here and here.
Absolutely. And it's a mental gymnastics that you play when you're on stage, because if you were to go to all 4 shows this weekend at the Comedy Catch, the general consensus will be the same, but all 4 shows will not be the same, because it's still live. As things happen, you know, as I'm here longer, I might see something in town and be like, what's this all about? You know, and going from there. So, you know, they both hold a special place, but comedy definitely, it's more personal.
Describe your comedy. If someone was to ask you what style of comedy is Kalea McNeill, what would you say?
I would say she is a stand-up comedian who, I'm not a roaster, so you don't have to worry about anybody being made fun of.
Right.
But we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about the real. We're gonna talk about what's going on right now, how it affects me and people who look like me and think like me. But I do it in a way where nobody feels alienated. Because you see, where I grew up near Napa. I grew up around a lot of everyone.
Right.
So one thing I think that is very unique about my comedy is you don't have to be Black or a woman or gay or this or that.
You just got to be funny.
You don't have to be funny. You just got to be there. Because I'm going to make you laugh no matter who you are. Yeah.
I know you had them rolling out in the green room just before we came on the air, and I didn't have a chance to hear what you all were talking about, but the laughter was definitely enthusiastic. And one of the beautiful things about laughter, it's highly contagious.
Yes, and we all need it right now.
You mentioned a couple of influences that you had a moment ago. What do you want the audience to take away from after seeing you at the Comedy Catch this weekend?
I want a new fan base. The point of this tour that I'm currently on is new places, new faces. I want you to leave this show, and a year from now, when you see me on a bigger stage or a bigger platform, I want you to feel like you were a part of this story. The way I kind of describe it is when we used to go to concerts back in the day and you would see the opening act. I remember going to a Backstreet Boys concert when I was a kid, and Britney Spears was their opening act.
Wow.
Now, of course, God bless her now, but you know,
Sure.
after that, it's like, whoa, like Britney Spears, you feel like you're a part of that story.
And Kalea was also telling me before we came on the air, it's your first time here in Chattanooga.
Yes.
Literally, you landed an hour or two ago.
At about 8:30.
And you haven't been to the Comedy Catch yet.
Not yet. I'm heading there after here, actually.
I think you're going to. I think you're going to be coming back. It's a wonderful room. Michael Alfano has been a longtime friend.
Yes.
You're going to have a second home right here in Chattanooga.
I can't
we
wait.
Wish you the best. How do we get in touch with you and keep track with what's happening in the world of Kalea McNeill?
Yes. Well, there is my website, which is www.kaleamcneill.com. On all platforms, I am whatever Kalea.
All right.
That's it.
We got to run. I'm going to talk to you after this breaks.